The story is that I just read this book about a gentleman that had been recruited away from a very lucrative job and to work for a well-known charity, world charity. A big drop in his salary. He was doing very well on the East Coast, living, Flagstone home in New England. Everything was and this recruiting company came after him, and he made the decision to go after a lot of prayer and a lot of time considering, and he thought that was my commitment to my faith or my God or whatever the work he was doing was. I gave up the money to go do this, and he was kind of approaching the job to just do it. And he had an opportunity where he was visiting a village, and a lady was asking him something in the local language, which he didn't understand. He was in a hurry to catch a flight, got to his car, was zooming off to the airport, and he asked the gentleman that was with him, who was a local, what was the lady saying? She said that she had a son who had lost a leg in an accident and was wanting to know if he could help. So we had this guy contact the lady and found out that they could help, and it was just going to be a few $100s to fit him with a prosthetic leg. And he'd forgotten all about that even. I threw some money at it and I let it go. And a few months later, he was sitting at his desk getting ready to go into a board meeting, and he was looking for a document on his computer to print, and he went over and noticed a file just had popped up, an email, and he went to open it up, and it had a picture that it was downloading. And this is, 1999, year 2000 time. So it was taking a while to load up. And he's running late going into this board meeting, and he's mad at himself for opening this picture up. It's a picture of this kid with his leg standing next to his mom, and they had sent this to him. And he put this in a frame. He's got it on his desk so that he doesn't ever forget. So I was reading this book about this guy. And I get here and I'm looking at this gentleman. We're in his home, and everybody talks about what we're doing with each other. What we do for a living. And he explained what he used to do. I explained what we do, that we're a foundation that helps get medical devices into countries that don't have any other means. And he says, "Can you get me a leg?" I said, no. I said, what we do is we get medical equipment, patient monitors and things that's used in a hospital. And so he kind of nodded his head, and everybody goes around the room, and just before we left, he asked me again, can you get me a leg? And I was like, I started to say no again, and I thought, I remember this guy's story. I walked outside, and there was a lady from the Clinton Foundation that was with us, and I said, is there a hospital in Rwanda that can fit prosthetics for people? And she says, oh yeah, in Kigali, it's King Faisal Hospital. I said, well, do you know anybody that we could call to find out what that would take? Her husband was a doctor. She called, and within 2 or 3 minutes called me back and said, yeah, this is what it would cost, and blah, blah, blah. And we went up to this gentleman and told him that the next time I see you here, we'll be back. You're going to be able to drive a car. So we took care of getting him a leg. And it was, I believe that was all meant to happen. It was all set in place from the time I read the book to the time I met this gentleman.